What's good, new types? Today I'm bringing you a match from our first constructed event that we had over at Steelfox Games in Louisiana. On the right is a blue-green Oz/Shenlong, and on the left we have a red-white ZAFT/Seed. So turn one is pretty uneventful for the red player as they just get their resource and pass, and it looks like the same is going to happen for the blue player as well. Now on turn two for the red player, they are going to play a Zaku 2. This is a pretty good starter as it does put pressure on the EX base, swinging for 3 AP when it attacks on its turn. And the red player is going to pass over to the blue player, who's going to drop a Zeno, which is a nice 2-1, and for taking out those lower level threats, it has first strike, which makes it pretty good, especially if you're able to support it and boost up the AP. The Zaku 2 is going to swing in and take out the EX base, so now a little bit of pressure being applied to the blue player, and then the red player is going to drop a Noin's Ares. So once another Oz unit is on the field, they are going to be able to draw a card when it's destroyed. With the turn being passed, the blue player has 4 resources total, so that they're able to start getting into their mid-range now. It looks like they are going to rest 2 and then play a Buster Gundam. Now this card is really good, being able to restand when it supports 3 on another ZAFT unit is just amazing. So it essentially has built-in protection for itself, which really makes it hard to counter-strike and get it off the board in a feasible way without having to spend a decent amount of resources or units to get to it. So the blue player is going to activate the support 3 on the Zeno, giving it +3, making it a 5 attack, and then restanding the Buster Gundam. And the Zeno is going to swing in. Let's see if it targets the Zaku. No, they go for the base, so that is going to drop the EX base, and then the Buster Gundam is going to swing in on the Zaku 2, taking that out, and then only taking 1 damage. The Zaku is great for attack, but on defense or being swung into, it's not very durable at all, and doesn't really trade up in that manner. That being said, the blue player passes the turn over to the red, and now they have 4 resources to start going into their mid-game. The red player plays a Shenlong Gundam, so a nice 4-3, and then links it with the Changwu Fei. So this is going to be able to go after anything with 3 or less AP and not take any damage since it does have breach, and then also take out a shield. So getting the attack off, it is going to go into the Buster Gundam and get that really good effect off of the field, which I feel is pretty important, especially in a ZAFT themed deck. And then the breach is going to hit an Archangel, which is going to take another shield, bringing them down to 4, but now giving them a 5 HP base. And Noin's Ares is going to go after the Zeno, taking 2 damage so it doesn't get destroyed, and getting rid of another unit on the field, so leaving the red player with 2, and the blue player now having to rebuild essentially from that turn. One of the big strengths that ZAFT does have is the combo potential, especially when you get 2 or 3 units out on the field that are able to stack AP and give things like breach or first strike to each other. We see the blue player play a dual Gundam out by itself. Let's see if they have the pilot to link with it and maybe get an early attack with some breach, but they play another Buster Gundam, so now we see that synergy slowly starting to build again between both of the ZAFT units. And in my opinion, just 1 more unit, especially having like 3 on the field, really kind of sets off the deck with all of the support and extra effects that they're able to get from just having that 5 AP or higher. But with that, the blue player passes over to the red, and they're going to go up to 5 resources, so let's see what they're able to build with this turn. With nothing suspended, it's going to be a little bit harder to get some value out of the Changwu Fei on the Shenlong. However, with 6 AP, it is going to be able to break the base, and then the Noin's Ares could possibly swing in and bring down the shields for the blue player down to 3, but that would leave everything vulnerable. So we see a Zex Leo being played, and this effect is pretty nice because as long as it's paired and it doesn't have to be specifically an Oz trait, it is able to suspend something that has 3 HP or less. So the dual Gundam is going to get suspended, and now this provides a good target for the Shenlong to swing into, not take any damage, and then put a little bit of damage on the base, doing 3 with the effect, and then making the math work out for Noin's Ares to finish off the base, removing that So while there is 2 suspended units on the red player side, they didn't necessarily overextend because now there's only 1 on the blue players. And then the Zex Leo can actually attack because it's linked with an Oz pilot, so bringing the shields down to 3. And now we see the red player just going wide, playing another Leo and passing turn. So on the board right now, there's enough damage to take out the blue player if they don't answer some of the threats that are on the board. So let's see how they handle it. Looks like they're going to start by spending 3 resources and then playing the Aegis Gundam from the starter deck. So it's a 4/3. It's pretty good at taking out higher threats with the ability that it has for dealing 3 damage to a level 5 or higher. And they get the Arthur and Zala underneath, so it is going to be able to swing in this turn. So we're looking at potentially 2 units from the red player being removed and then the blue player being protected a bit more with those 3 shields. So let's see what they go after. They swing at the Shenlong, so that is actually going to trade because Shenlong does 6 damage, but that removes a pretty big threat off of the red side of the board. And then the Noin's Ares being attacked and being destroyed, so since there was another Oz unit on the field, the red player is going to draw a card from that, and Buster Gundam is still going to survive with 2. Now the red player taking their turn, going up to 6 resources and having 2 units on the field with a decent amount of damage. We see the Leo swing in for 2, and it does hit a base, which is going to keep the red player from taking the last shield and setting up some defense for the blue player. Zex Leo does have 4 damage, so it is going to be able to swing in and take a big chunk out of that HP and leave the base pretty damaged for right now. We'll see what the follow-up is for the red player, as they do have 6 resources. They've decided to use 2 of them, and let's see what they play. They go into a Leo, so just another 2/2. It does have the option of linking with Zex, as it is an Oz trait, but they're going wide, so they play another Zaku 2, which once again is a good attacker. And it seems like the theme for their strategy right now is to just kind of go wide, put a lot of bodies on board. With that, we see another Zex Leo hit the board, so now they have 5 bodies on the board. 2 of them are currently rested, so they can be attacked into, and just trying to apply kind of the Oz Zeon style of, here's a whole bunch of weak mobile suits, but I'm going to try and overwhelm you. The blue player plays out a Justice Gundam, which is going to get out that 2/2 Fatum token. And the big thing with that is that it's also a blocker, so it is going to provide some defense. And then we see another Buster Gundam that's going to be able to buff up another attacker and provide some more damage. However, not super necessary, as all these mobile units, or units at least, have 2 health, so they are pretty weak. But the Buster Gundam doesn't care, as it's going to obliterate a 2/2 and get that off of the field. And right now, the other Buster Gundam should be unsuspended. That was missed. So everything on the red player side is activated. They're going to swing in with a 2/2 Leo, which looks like it's going to trade with a Fatum. And that's going to leave the base open for attack. So another Leo goes in, takes out the base. The 3/2 Zaku is going to swing, and we don't see a base, which means that the final attack is going to be the last one, and that's going to be the game for the red player. Looks like one of the MVPs for that game was Shenlong, just being able to stay on the board and then get a lot of value with its attacks. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to bringing you more Gundam TCG 1v1s, as well as 2v2s, which has been a really cool format to try out and build decks specifically for that. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes in the future, especially with Bandai tournaments later on. With that being said, let's head to debrief, and I'll see you out there, new type.